Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. You might recall the video I did, it'll be floating right above my head, on February 10th about a poll that was done in Texas. Obviously was skewed for the results that they desired, but it came out saying that a majority of Texans wanted things like red flag bills for confiscation and universal background checks that would get rid of the person-to-person sale. Blah, blah, blah. Watch that if you haven't seen it already. But in that video, I did say that if this poll had gone unchecked and in a quick way, that it would cost, that it would be very costly for Texas. Well, that was 9 days ago, and it didn't take long, because now Everytown for Gun Safety and Michael Bloomberg have identified Texas as their biggest target for this year's election cycle. They have come out and announced that they will spend $8 million on the election cycle in Texas to flip it just like they were successful in doing in Virginia last year. So they announced today that they will spend 3 times what they spent in Virginia, at least $8 million, not just 8. At least $8 million will be spent in Texas supporting candidates and buying ads. Now, Everytown says that they are, quote, an unprecedented financial and grassroots effort, that they're going to use that $8 million to flip the Texas House, defend vulnerable freshman Democrats in Congress, and help Democrats take congressional seats in the suburbs, which is the exact formula that destroyed Virginia. Now, Everytown for Gun Safety's political director's name is Chris Carr, and he said this: "We believe that Texas, as it becomes younger and increasingly diverse, can be the next emerging battleground state with gun safety as the tipping point." He continued, "We believe there are opportunities to elect gun sense candidates up and down the ballot, from the State House to the U.S. Congress, and potentially even statewide." Now, you might recall I told you last week before, that they have already said, they being Everytown for Gun Safety, really it's Michael Bloomberg, have said that they're going to spend $60 million in this election year alone. It's the most ever they've done, because they're coming off a huge victory in Virginia. Never to be undone, Shannon Watts, who's the director of Moms Demand Action, said the same thing. Texas is definitely the big target. Now, one of the things that Shannon Watts said today is very concerning if you live in Texas. You need to know this. The group already has 400,000 volunteers on the ground in Texas right now. 400,000 people working to get Bloomberg's agenda passed. And I ask you, if you live in Texas, what are you going to do to stop it? We the gun-loving Americans who love the Second Amendment and the U.S. Constitution, far too often have sat back and said, somebody else will do it. They're really not going to win. They don't stand a chance. 400,000 people are there ready to get it done for their side. It's time to step up, just like Virginia's doing right now. Now, go back to the beginning of this video when I told you that poll that was taken on the 10th, the video I did on the 10th, if it didn't go unchecked, you'd hear about it again. Well, let me tell you this. The group, Everytown for Gun Safety, points directly at those numbers, saying there is broad support among Texans for the type of laws we advocate. 87% of likely voters in Texas said they would support background checks on all gun purchases, while 80% support red flag laws. It's coming back, guys and gals, to bite Texas in the ass. Now, on the flip side, I'm seeing in a couple avenues here that the Texas gun rights groups are mobilizing, which they absolutely need to do. They need to work together. The good thing is that Virginia, and what the VCDL did and is currently still doing, laid the blueprint for other states to try to fend off Bloomberg's attack. He's going to use the same thing, and that's worked. And we can see already that the VCDL was somewhat successful in getting some of the bills thwarted and stopped. But the numbers aren't there to get it done for all of them, just because of the way the election went, because Bloomberg got a lot of Democrats in there who owe him and will force it through. Now, Everytown is saying that they're planning on going hard on the offensive against U.S. Reps Dan Crenshaw, Michael McCall, Chip Roy, and John Carter, and they're also planning to spend big in the districts left open by retiring Republicans, including U.S. Representative Will Hurd. Now, you heard every town say that the House was one of their big targets. They would need to flip 9 seats to gain control in the House. 9, that's a lot. But if they just steamroll people, it will happen. So there's a quick heads up for Texas. It's time to take it serious. 400,000 people is no joke, and neither are the Bloomberg dollars. We've seen what it's done nationwide, state by state, and they're coming for you now. There's nothing more than those anti-gun leftist crazy bastards want than to gain Virginia and to gain Texas, and we need to stop them. Please pass this along. This is the only way this stuff gets out. I ask you please to consider helping the channel grow by subscribing if you haven't already. You can hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, it's supposed to get you notified when I put out new content. Also share this with your friends. Like I said earlier, it's the only way the news gets out. And of course, smash that thumbs up button on every video so that it gets into the YouTube algorithm instead of being shadow banned like most of my stuff is. If you could do that, I would greatly appreciate it. I look forward to having you join this growing freedom family, and I hope to keep you around and earn your keep. Thank you for your time. Until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. Take it easy.